Hello everyone, it's Gladius. Today we're talking about renowned factions and which ones are important to focus on, especially for professions. But also you can get some gear from these as well. I'm focusing on the four major factions: Dragonscale Expedition, Valdraken Accord, Maruuk Centaur, the Iskarr Tuskarr. I'm going to break down the unique reputation gains, the reputation gains that are similar for all of them, and then also why players with professions should be interested in leveling these. Before we get into it, everyone, I try to get this stuff out as fast as possible. If at the end of the video you decide this video was helpful to you in some way, please heroic strike that like button, and if you want to stay up to date with WoW content in the future, slam the subscribe. All right, let's get into it. So for those who are not familiar, one of the features of Dragonflight is a renown system. You can kind of think of this as a remake of the reputation system that has existed in the past. Each of these smaller factions are going to have a renown rank associated with them. You can get these by earning reputation with that faction. Reputation can come from many different sources, including quests, weeklies, world quests, defeating rares, dungeon quests, and more. There are some specific reputation gains for certain factions, and I'll go over those as we come up on them. Let's start at the top of the list here. Dragonscale Expedition. The Dragonscale Expedition is kind of like the Adventures League of the Dragon Isle. They have their own dailies associated with them, and things like a photography minigame as well as a climbing minigame for you to take part in. If anyone else is old enough to remember on Nintendo 64 Pokemon Snap, that's basically what the photography minigame is. So now, as we jump in to talk about the rewards you can get for farming out reputation with this faction, I wanted to just come in with an idea for you to think about. Some reputations aren't going to be as important for your profession or for your goals. However, it's important to note that while there might not be a reputation item that's important for your main character, there might be one that's helpful to an alt character. As you gain renown, once you reach certain breakpoints, you're going to be able to increase the renown reputation gained from all sources on alt characters up to the rank that you reached. So for example, on my Drakthir Evoker, I have a buff that's called Word of a Worthy Ally. It's going to increase reputation gained by 100% with all the factions that I have above rank 10. Notice there's one missing here. I'm still working on my Tuskarr one. Know that 3 are represented because if you remember on my reputations, I have 3 of the 4 above rank 10. Tuskarr's missing here because my main character hasn't got it up quite high enough. I still plan on doing those quests, even though they're not going to help out my blacksmithing character as much. I still want to have the reputation there for later when I level my alts and I have my alt professions going. I want to be able to access all the renown items. A lot of the renown climbs can be gated by weekly resets. As a general rule, each profession is going to have 2 renown factions that have important unlocks for them. This includes knowledge in your profession's plans or recipes. Here's a chart from Wowhead that has the professions and their renowned factions that they benefit the most from. I have it linked down in the description. So if we look at the Dragonscale Expedition, we can see that they benefit enchanting, engineering, inscription, jewel crafting, mining, and tailoring. So if you have any of those professions, you might want to take a look at the Dragonscale Expedition. So let's take a look. Let's see what they would have for enchanting. Here you can see Enchant Boots, Writer's Reassurance, available for only 50 supply. Now let's talk briefly about what you can do as part of the expedition. Dragonscale Expedition is going to have some weekly quests for you to get. They're going to be posted on wanted signs around their camp. So stop in here each week to go ahead and accept their quests. This faction also lets you turn in, the Dragon Expedition also lets you turn in Dragon Isle's artifacts. These will get you 15 reputation for each turn in. Also, after reaching Renown 6, you're going to unlock a minigame where you're able to put on climbing supplies and be able to do climbing minigames. And as you do those minigames, you're able to scale through a talent tree of sorts where you can buy different talents to make those minigames easier by using Dragon Isle supplies. It's important that you unlock the world quests for climbing and photography because they won't appear on your world quests map if you don't have the ability to do them. All right, next on our list, the Maruuk Centaur. Now again, if we look at our chart, the Maruuk Centaur are going to be important for alchemy, blacksmithing, herbalism, leatherworking, and skinning. Let's head on over and check them out. Something to keep in mind for the Maruuk Centaur, they have a mini game or a mini quest event that's associated with them. If you open up your map, right click, and then you look at all of the locations, around the Dragon Isles, you can see over the large region, there's going to be something that looks kind of like a horn. If you see that, that means that there's a grand hunt event going on there. If you scroll over it, if you hover over it, you can see how much time you have left on it. Now, once per week, you're going to be able to get the Maruuk hunting spoils. Well, more than once, but only one time will you get the epic chest. You're able to do these a total of, let me know in the comments if I'm wrong, but I believe you can do this 3 times, and each time you do it, the quality of your reward will decrease with each successive time that you do it. So it's important, at least go ahead and get it done the first time, and that's where you'll get the best items. There's an NPC over here in the main location of the Maruuk Centaur. You're able to turn in hunting trophies. You can get these by participating in the grand hunts, and they also come in supply chests that you get for completing some weeklies. Each skull is going to get you 25 reputation points. For the grand hunt events, if you're inside the region that the event's taking place, you're going to see a horn location that's going to show you exactly where the grand hunt is happening. Head on over there to start participating. There's a whole range of tasks that it's going to have you do, but most of the time it's slaying enemies or collecting items. At the top of your screen, you're going to see the amount of hunts remaining in the grand hunt itself. Once you complete all of them, that's when you're eligible to get your reward cash. Also, no worries if you don't have the mob tagged. The quest just has to be completed, and then everyone who's there in the region when the quest is completed will be eligible for the rewards. This includes the reputation gained and also the satchel reward itself. Next, we're going to head on over to the Iskarr Tuskarr. The Iskarr Tuskarr is going to be important to enchanting, herbalism, jewel crafting, leatherworking, and skinning. The Iskarr Tuskarr are going to have an event called Community Feast. This is an open world quest where everyone gathers around this soup pot here and can do a series of tasks for Big Canuck. It's very chaotic, there's a lot going on, but as long as you're in the area, you're going to be able to get the reputation gains for each stage or phase of the event. The Tuskarr also have fishing vendors and the ability to craft things like nets to help you gather fish a little bit easier. And you can also turn in fish for reputation. Once again, this is the reputation I've worked with the least, so I could be missing something. If I did, go ahead and put in the comment section below your strategy for farming reputation with a Tuskarr. And last but not least is the Valdraken Accord. The professions that benefit the most from Valdraken Accord are alchemy, blacksmithing, engineering, inscription, mining, and tailoring. The Valdraken Accord have an event called Siege on Dragonbane Keep. This event is going to begin every other hour. So it's going to go on cooldown for 1 hour, and then it begins the following hour. If you see this message like you see on my screen here, where it says the siege is over, this means that the event happened at the start of that hour and has already concluded. So there's no reason to head over there at this point. After the timer reaches 0, it's then going to show a different message that says that the forces are gathering and preparing. This is the cooldown timer. So during this hour, nothing is going to happen. But just know when the timer reaches 0 on this cooldown hour, the event will begin. It usually lasts just over 10 minutes. And after the event has concluded, then there's really no reason to head back. Then you're going to have to wait for it to come around again. My suggestion is wait for the message that says that the forces are gathering. When it gets down to about 5 minutes until the event is going to launch, go ahead and head on over there and just wait with the mass of people that are also waiting for the event. As for the locations of each of the factions, the Dragonscale Expedition can be found right here in the Waking Shores. The Maruuk Centaur can be found here in Maruuk in the Onara Plains. The Iskarr Tuskarr can be found in the Azure Span right here. And of course, the Valdraken Accord can be found in Valdraken, just under the seat of the aspects, right here. In addition to the specific reputation methods, you're also able to get reputation through completing world quests. These give you a quick handful of reputation for the faction that they're associated with. However, it's important to note that there are many, many side quests that are in the Dragon Isles. Just by flying around and completing these when you see them, you're gonna get anywhere between 50 and 200 reputation for completing these side quests. There are also rares you can kill that give you reputation as well. Again, I know I keep saying it, but an add-on like Rare Scanner really helps with this. It pops up with a notification every time you're passing a rare. Something else to note, you can use contracts to increase the reputation gained when you complete world quests. You get to choose the faction you want to go into a contract with, but understand you can only have one contract active at a time. If you try to activate a second contract, it will be replaced with a new contract, and it lasts for a week. Take a look at the auction house or use a work order to have one of these created for you. A great way of unlocking a lot of reputation for all of the factions is to complete the weekly reputation quest, Aiding the Accord. This is going to give you a hefty 500 reputation with every one of the renowned factions. If I missed anything on reputations, please let me know in the comments section below. And if you have any other tips for everyone to know about, go ahead and post those as well. All right, once again, everybody, if this video is helpful to you in some way, please heroic strike that like button. And if you want to stay up to date with WoW content in the future, slam the subscribe. I appreciate your time today. I'll see you in the next one. Bye, everyone.